Our trip to Athens started with a 33-hour flight from Honolulu to Athens. We had a long layover in Philadelphia. Here we are about 22, 23 hours into our trip, wondering exactly what we had done.
Here's Maddie, sound asleep in the airport.
But eventually we arrived in Athens,
Nickelodeon.
stayed in a beautiful apartment in a nice area of Athens called Kolonaki. Um, it's a beautiful area, but Athens is having some pretty serious economic problems. There are a lot of closed businesses in the neighborhood. But we climbed up on the roof to show you what the neighborhood looked like. Here you can see uh, the Acropolis from our roof.
Let's come up here at night when it's
Here's
lit
a
up.
little better view during the day, and here's what it looks like from the roof of our apartment at night. So we were in a pretty good location, all in all. We got up early the next morning and saw these guys marching to work. They were about a half a block from our house. These are the ceremonial guard for the Greek tomb of the unknown soldiers. They've got kind of a funny looking outfit and a funny looking goose step march, but you can't make fun of them because they have guns. Then it was off to the Acropolis. Here's a reconstruction of what the Acropolis looked like in its day. You can see on the lower left-hand side there's a Roman um, theater, and on the right-hand side there's a even more ancient Greek theater, the Theater of Dionysus. This is what the Roman theater looks like today. Um, it's still being used for special events. Certain musical things are shown there, and then you walk up
What's
a
it keep
bunch of
doing that?
steps, and this is the entry to the
Madison, look over your
Acropolis
shoulder.
Temple Complex.
Smile. Jan, look over your shoulder. Smile.
We were pretty much the first ones there. As we were walking up the stairs, these guys were walking down. We're not sure what they were doing up there in the middle of the night. You can see the little skirts that they wear have 400 pleats, one pleat for each year of occupation by the hated Turks. And this is what the Parthenon looks like today. It was built in 500 BC, so it's 2,500 years old. There's not a lot left of it. Um, the Turks blew the top of it off about 400 years ago. Um, but it's sort of amazing that there's anything there at all when you get right down to it. In its day, this is what it looked like. This is actually a reconstruction that was created in Nashville, Tennessee. It's an exact replica. And inside is this exact replica of the statue of Athena that was in the original Parthenon. So that's what it would have looked like back when it was complete. But this is what's left of it today, covered with scaffolding to try to preserve what's left. People are working on it full time. And it's still on a big hill that oversees the modern city of Athens, a city of about 4 million people. This is what's left of the Theater of Dionysus. Most people agree that this is the very site in which the uh, entire concept of drama was created, and the site of contests and pageants for hundreds and hundreds of years. This is a view of the Acropolis from the other side, overlooking Mars Hill, where Paul spoke to the Athenians. And this is a smaller temple that's in the Agora, which is the downtown, ancient downtown area. It was built the same time as the Parthenon, but it's in much better condition. In fact, this little temple was in use as a government building until the late 1800s. It's still intact, still has a roof. This is a reconstruction of the Athenian shopping mall, and you can see that by this time our party was a little tired of looking at old stuff. So we took a little day trip to the island of Hydra, which is a short ferry away from Athens. It's a beautiful little island where there are no motorized vehicles. Everything is delivered by donkey, and it is as beautiful and picturesque and quaint as you might imagine. Not super touristy, not very crowded. We loved it. It was great. But then it was back to Athens and more boring stuff. We spent the day in the National Archaeological Museum, which, being Greeks, you could call it the Penis Museum if you were so inclined. The next day, we took a private tour with Christos, our guide, who luckily was young and handsome and charming. And he took us to the ancient battlefield of Marathon, which you see here, where the Persians landed and attacked the Athenians, and the Athenians beat them. One of the most momentous battles in Western history. And then we were off to this little monastery, the Lucas Monastery, which was parts of it were built in 900 AD. So this thing was 500 years old already when Columbus discovered America. It was really a good experience, and it's still in use as a monastery. So here you can see some of the icons and gold leaf mosaic that's lasted all this time. And then finally, in our little day trip, we ended up at Delphi, which is the home of the Oracle of Delphi. That was her house down there, where you can see the pillars, where she would talk with the god Apollo and through him predict the future.